jobs, and the city of South Bend is that is my day job, and people at home thankfully have.
And you do tend to it?
Yeah, I have to. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm on.
You're in LA today.
What
if the sewers back up?
We got phones. We got
Okay,
a lot of the work that I do obviously is guidance, policy, but also one of the reasons I'll be on a red eye is to get back home quickly and tend to some things there.
So so you're from the part of the country that the Democrats desperately want to win back. I don't know if Indiana will be in play. Used to be.
Yeah, that's right.
Could it be again?
I think it could be. It's not written in stone.
Right.
That these states have to be conservative. Matter of fact, there's a very deep progressive tradition in the industrial Midwest.
Okay, but, they used to ask this question after 9/11, why do they hate us? But I want to ask it about Republicans and their attitude toward Democrats.
Yeah.
Why do they hate us?
Well,
why is the D so toxic that we automatically write off 25 states?
Well, first of all, we got to look at the media diet, right? I mean, not only the Twitterverse, but if you're on a diet of Fox News and some of this conservative radio, you may literally never even hear our perspective. And I think there's an echo chamber.
That's why you got to go on Fox News?
Yeah, which I was really surprised to discover. Yeah. I was the first out of the candidates to go on Fox News Sunday. But if I didn't, a lot of viewers would have never heard what I had to say. So I think we got to penetrate there. I also think sometimes there's a sense of condescension coming from our party, fairly or unfairly. I think a lot of people perceive that we're looking down on them. And if we allow that to continue, it's going to be a real problem. Look, if a wealthy, coastal, liberal professional goes up to a guy pumping gas in South Bend, maybe wearing one of those red hats, and said, you're voting against your economic interests. You know what that guy's going to say? He's going to say, so are you.
Or if he says you have white privilege.
Well,
that rubs people the wrong way.
Yeah, look, white privilege is real, and we should talk about these issues. But we can't paint people into a corner where they have nowhere to go but the far right. That's how radicalization works. We need to invite them onto the right side of history. Don't get me wrong. We're going to give no quarter to things like white nationalism that helped animate this presidency and this campaign. But I also think we have an obligation to be speaking to things like the loss in a sense of belonging. I mean, exactly the kind of thing that opens people up to radicalization, whether it's here at home or in places like the Middle East.
That's Brexit.
Yeah, exactly. And the same desire for belonging that might motivate, an auto worker in the middle of his career who's finding himself disrupted by modernity, is also the sense of belonging that explains the fear of a dreamer who's afraid they might not belong in what they feel to be their own country, or a transgender kid in high school who just has to go to the bathroom like everybody else. I mean, if we get it right, then talking about this sense of belonging can actually knit us back together, instead of watching it turn into something that makes us so vulnerable to being divided against each other.
You just said transgender going to the bathroom. How often does that really happen? Is that a real problem?
Well, if you're transgender, it happens several times a day.
What's that?
If it's you,
but does it happen that often that that's an issue?
Often enough that
it's easy to make them applaud. I'm talking about the people who are going to elect the next president.
We just talk about it as how we take care of people.
I'm just saying, you mentioned you have like 8 minutes here. Yeah. And out of that, of all the things, you mentioned that thing. I'm saying we're talking about how do we win back those people. Right. I don't know if that's the thing we want to accent. It may be a fair issue.
What we've got to do is we've got to paint a picture of life in the future that my generation's living into. It's one of the reasons I talk a lot about what the world will look like in 2054. That's the year I would get to the current age of the current president. And,
fuck.
not to put too fine a point.
So you're a millennial.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. Now, I don't want to generalize because I do shows all around the country. A lot of millennials come and they know that